Take a break and roll a sticky leg it. Anyway, hello YouTube. It's nobody Nexus. Nexus after dark. Next. We're back with another story time. I feel like every broccoli enjoyer has had to have had a sesh in the woods at some point in their existence. And if you don't know what broccoli is, check the vocab. Come on, context clues at the very least. But before going to college in the city, I used to always have broccoli in the woods when it was like any kind of group sesh, and that shit was so goated. It was just a wonderful atmosphere. You could feel the nature in the air. Birds was chirping. Birds was getting a little lifted too. Like, it was just nice. It was just a nice times. Sometimes it was a neighborhood trail, although those shits kind of make you tweak because every HOA sucks ass and just hates black people. But sometimes it was this one public park type thing in the area, which was fire every time because you could just do dumb shit in the woods while being faded as shit. We would have like stick battles. We would do parkour ass shit here. It was like a battle park type thing, and it was just the perfect area for broccoli enjoying. Like, it was just pure nature. It was just a wonderful time. But today's story is when this public park type place, whatever you want to call it, went from a fire ass haven for broccoli enjoyers to actual hell. So this story takes place during the summer right before college started. So I'm 18 at this point, and the homies who we're gonna call Tom, Eddie, Kwame, and Russo and I, we all pulled up to these woods again for another sesh. But the difference was, with this time, it was the homie Eddie's first time here, and only Kwame and Russo really knew the woods in and out and how to get into our spot. So they were always our guides type shit. So they got us into the spot, and it's like a normal sesh. Everything is cool. Is just enjoying the nature and the spirit of the broccoli. And then Eddie looks at his phone and he's like, oh shit, I gotta pick up my brother from work, because I think they were sharing the car or something at that point. So Kwame and Russo are like, bet, let's wait until the session's over and blah blah blah. And then Eddie's like, nah, I gotta dip. Like, he texted me a minute ago. So we split up, and Kwame and Russo stayed because like they wanted to finish the broccoli, which is understandable. We really should have just stayed. And Tom and I go with Eddie. Mind you, we're all already extremely faded, and we also don't know the way through this forest, woods type thing. So we're walking, and I'm like, ayo, do you remember it being this long to get out? And then we're all like, oh, fuck. But Eddie's still like, nah, this is the way, bruh. I recognize this tree. And I look closer at the tree and I'm like, yeah, I think you're right. I think I recognize this tree. So we just keep walking. And then there's like a crossroads type area with two different paths. And I'm like, I definitely don't remember this shit. But Eddie's still like, nah, I recognize this, bro. We're good, bro. And this nigga just kept saying that he recognized the shit and was sure that we weren't lost. But I knew for a fact I stopped recognizing shit a minute ago. Honestly, he probably placeboed me into recognizing half of the shit I did recognize on the way there, bruh. But then we FaceTime Kwame and Russo. There's like a little bit of service in this one spot in the woods. So we FaceTime Kwame and Russo, and they're like, nah, you niggas are definitely lost. So we're like, oh, so we just keep walking, and eventually we run into these two random middle-aged guys who were like also walking the trail, and we're like, hey, how far are we from the entrance on like whatever side that we came from? And one of them is like, oh, this isn't even that same trail anymore. Like, it's connected to a bunch of different trails around the area. Like, you guys aren't even on that like same trail. And we're like, oh, no. So we're like, okay, so how far is it to get back? And they're like, it's probably gonna be a long while. And we're like, oh, brother. And bro, I swear we were in the lost woods. Time was not moving normal. We were stuck in this forest for like an hour plus, and it felt like days were going by. At one point, Tom and me lost Eddie. We just straight up lost Eddie. And we had a whole mini arc of finding him again. Everyone just became so jaded at this point because we all had other shit that we needed to be doing. Like, we had our days and our lives to live. And there was also no cell service for most of this. Like after that first FaceTime with Kwame and Russo, it was over. It was over. There was no more cell service after that. So eventually we get to an area of the trail that has like houses around it. And we're like, holy human contact has been regained. We actually made it. Like there's humans. Well, we haven't made it, but at least there's humans. And Eddie's like, nah, this, bro. This is our only way out. This is our chance. And he's like, I'm gonna hop this fence and cut through this house right here. And I'm like, no, they're going to shoot us. They're going to blast us away. And he's like, bro, this is the only way out. And he just starts hopping the fence. And I'm like, oh, shit. Now I have to hop this fence. So all three of us, we climb the fence and we walk through this house's backyard. And we all got our hands up so they don't do no crazy shit. Because we're like, you feel me, low-key terrified. So we're walking out with our hands up and we get to the front of the yard and we see a sign that says like empty/for sale. And we're like, oh my God, there is a higher entity smiling down on us right now, bruh. I was like, this is actually the end. Somebody's gonna come out and be like, why are these three niggas walking in my backyard with their hands up? But no, it was an empty house for sale. So now we're just in a random ass neighborhood and we see some randoms and we're like, hey, how do we get out of here? And they're like, oh, just keep walking up this street and eventually you'll hit a main road. So we were like, bet, good looks, thank you so much. And we hit the main road and I'm like, this is a road that my parents drive through a lot, bruh. That would be my ass if they saw me, but they never did, so good shit. So finally, we call Kwame and Russo again, and we're like, we made it out. We made it out of the lost woods. Please come pick us up. Come rescue us, please. We did it. We did it. We made it out. We made it out. And they see how far we are, like on the GPS. And they're like, holy you're like 20 minutes away by car. How did you get that far in the first place? Bars. And we're like, bro, we got stuck on a journey. Like we were like in a whole TV show. We were lost for real. Trademark. So they come 20 minutes later and they rescue us and I'm ecstatic as fuck. Meanwhile, Eddie and Kwame are arguing about how easily preventable this whole situation was, and I'm just not taking any of this serious because we finally made it out. Eddie's big mad because he's supposed to have been picked his brother up. RIP to that nigga. But I actually never did find out what happened with Eddie picking up his brother. But the journey was crazy, bro. Like this gave a nigga Woods PTSD for the entire rest of the year. I was scared. I actually had flashbacks. I was like, no, I don't know about broccoli in the woods ever again. I don't know if I can do this. This is a whole lot of BS. This is too much. I used to fuck with the woods and broccoli, which is crazy because Kwame and me got stuck in more woods like a month later. But that was for like way less long, so it wasn't as bad. But I low-key was tweaking like though, because I was like, no, I can't do this again. I can't. I just can't. And Kwame was on like shroomies at that time. Then he was on the shrooms too, and I was like, oh God, we're f***ed. But no, we made it out. We had another god. The homie Xavier pulled up and saved us. But story for another day. Actually, not a lot happened, so maybe not a story for another day. But yeah, being stranded in the woods is a terrifying thing, especially when you're gone off the broccoli, bruh. Like that's just scary. Like it's also fun because I was with people, but if I was alone, nah, that would be it. I'm good off trees and woods ever again if I was alone. But nah, we made it out alive. We did it. Don't try any of this at home. If you do, record that shit, nigga. Record it.
Feel my soul, goblin in my brain. If you don't know, then you don't know. I know I'm focused on the stupid shit, cupid shit, but they calling my name. I'm doing this shit